What is going on, guys? The Balor Fan 85 back. I'm here with the lovely Mrs. Balor Fan, and it's been a while, has it not?
Too long.
Too long. There's no excuses other than a ton of excuses, so let me go ahead and just lay out a couple of them right now. Baby, work.
Baby.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, baby, work, baby. This is called life. Haven't really bought a lot of new belts, but we've been very fortunate. I think I have bought one new belt in the last 6 months or so, but we've won like 2 or 3 of them. I don't know what it is. It's got to be the luck of the red right here, or it could be the luck of the, hey. Anyways, we've got a few new belts that we want to cover, and forgive me if this is going off the rails really fast. I'm trying to shake off this rust. I don't know about you. I'm a little rusty.
I'm always rusty.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't say crusty, I said rusty, so I thought you were going to call me crusty there for a minute.
I thought you were calling me crusty.
I'm not calling you crusty. I'll never call you crusty. I got to get some of this crust out of my ears, though. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We've got a few new belts. I'm trying not to sweat my butt off because for the first time we've turned the wrestling room back into a studio room. These lights are hot. So without further ado, the first belt I want to cover is one that popped up on my radar within the last few years. Always kind of wanted one. Then all of a sudden a really good sale came up with a maker that I wasn't sure about. You know, we've tried a few makers. All in all, I'm happy with Maker's belt so far that we've gotten. How about you?
Yeah.
Pretty good. We've got a couple that, and we've got a couple that have completely knocked our socks off. So we went with a top shelf championship belts. Forgive me if I cannot remember the makers right off the bat. We get hounded by makers all the time, but this is one that I saw was posted, and I was like, you know what, that looks pretty good. So I reached out and got this belt, and I'm actually pretty happy I got it. So without further ado, the Hogan 86. Now, I was a year old when this came out, 1985. And
I was about to say, damn.
Shut up. But again, the Winged Eagle was the belt that I was captivated toward growing up, and then I became a bigger fan of the other belts like the US, the TV, and all that. But after looking at this belt in the groups, in reviews, I became pretty I became pretty fascinated with it, and I'm really happy we got it. Do you have anything you want to say about this belt before we get into it? Yeah, I think that's kind of how this goes. I'm trying to remember.
I just say get into it.
Just say get into it, okay? So we're going to start. We're going to do the old, what is it Michael Cole says, vintage Balor Fan 85. We're going to spread this baby out. We're going to come over here to the male snap box. Actually, you know what? Speaking of makers that I can't remember, he at least put his name on the very bottom. So we got Afnan Sheik with top shelf championship belts. So we're coming over here to the male snap side. We've got 2x 2x8 snap box, and we've got a really different snap box pattern in here. This is almost spades and almost just cones. What do you think of that? That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
textured almost.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging this. One thing I will say, let me look over here on the other side right now. One thing I will say, and this is a pet peeve of mine, at least the snaps are a little newer than some of the other ones. Now, I'm not saying they're brand new, but it's not like he went down and found just whatever he could put. There is still a little bit of shine to them, and I'm not really too upset about the snaps or the snap box. What do you think?
They look good.
Okay. So we're going to move right over, and what do we got? Thank you, Stephen Hammer, for putting it in my head at all times. I can't stop looking at it every time I get a belt that's got it. We've got the snap box of doom.
Snap box.
The box of doom.
We are rusty.
Thank you. We're very rusty. But we've got the old school WWF logo vertically with the W, and the F. I kind of like the old school WWF font. What about you?
Yeah.
It's not too basic. Pretty formal. I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of its own property plate, but we actually have a property plate on the other side, so we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to come over here to the first plate. You got the WWF logo. I kind of love the fact that this is dual plated. You have your chrome and you have your gold. You have the Canada flag and you have the Japan flag with the WWF logo on top, and then you have this little, just ornate designs on each side in
The
gold.
borders, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. Now this maker, one thing I will say, he could add a little bit more detail. He could make it a little bit. Now these are acid etched belts, so sometimes you do lose a little bit of detail in it. You see the Japan and the Canada, they kind of, I wouldn't say they're unlegible. You can definitely tell what they are, but they're a little close and maybe a little just kind of bunched together.
We've seen worse.
Oh yeah, we've seen worse. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, I do like this belt. So we'll come over here to the other side plate. You got the WWF logo again, and you've got the United States flag, and you've got the Mexico flag. Again, you've got the border on both sides. Really digging that. Again, maybe a little bit of detail in like the Mexico, in the middle of Mexico, there's nothing there but a little gold smidge. And the stars, you can add you can make the stars a little bit more legible on it, but that's neither here nor there. Now getting into the main plate, this is the one of my favorite main plates ever, because this is another thing, I call it a trophy belt. This is definitely a trophy belt. This is one of those that can sit on the shelf, sit on the waist. This is just such a beautiful belt, and this is dual plated. You have the chrome, you have the gold. Everything kind of pops. This big globe, yeah, some of the continents could be a little bit more pronounced.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not. It's not hurting me at all. And one thing you can definitely tell about this belt, the Hogan 86, it always had that big WWF logo on top. You've got really nice borders around this. Again, this is a trophy belt. This is one of those that it's prestigious. You want to win this belt. It's not like the new logo belts, and it's not like some of the other belts. I can definitely say, if I were wrestling and this belt was one that was available to win, if that makes sense at all. Again, trying to knock the rust off, I would go for this belt for sure. What about you?
Yeah, I like the curve to it. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, one thing, and you didn't. Thank you for mentioning that. Look at this curve. I mean, look, I can put my whole hand up under it. It is just such a great curve. It's one of the most curviest belts that we've got. I absolutely love it. Just look at those curves. For that curve. Just one big lump. I can deal with that all day. Anyways, coming over here to the other side plate, you got the United Kingdom and the Australian flag. Aside from the flags, the side plates are pretty basic. I mean, they're the same. They're uniform all the way across. Coming over here to, this is the USSR flag and the Italian flag. The USSR could use a little bit more detail up in its design. But all in all, these side plates and the main plate I'm loving. These are, I would not say this is a 4mm plate. I would say this is at least 5mm. It could be 6. They're really thick. Coming over here, you've got the WWF Hulk Hogan logo plate. And by the way, you've got a nice clamshell tooling all the way around. I know some of you are going to say this isn't a Hogan 86 with the clamshell tooling. What I say is, hey, guess what? There's going to be some differences. This is what my Hogan 86. The back also has some differences. So you've got the WWF Hulk Hogan property plate over here. I'm digging it. You've got that black and gold contrast. And again, you've got a big, I was going to say snap box of doom again. You've got a big box of doom. You got anything you want to say before we get to the toward the end?
You can go.
Yeah, I can go. That'll do, Wayne. That'll do. So we're going to come over here to the female snaps. And one thing, again, you have that really ornate snap box set. I've never seen anything like that in another snap box. I'm really digging it. It's almost like one of those illusion tests where if you look hard enough, you might be able to see something in it. I saw a price tag because that's what we had to do to get this, exchange currency for product. The snaps over here, I'm going to say, they're not the newest in the world, but they're better than some of the other ones I've seen that are tarnished and just completely bleh.
Bottom of the box.
Yeah, bottom of the box that's been in dirt, mud, and sorrow and loneliness. So that's where we're going to go with that. One thing I do like about this belt, you've got a nice big gold tip. It is a full tip. And again, it's one of those where if you put it over your shoulder, make sure this does not go toward front because it will knock out some, you know, if your guy will knock them out, it'll hurt them. Trust me, I know. Not with this one, but with some other ones. But you've got a nice tip right there, the WWF logo with Hogan 86. I'm enjoying it. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
So we're going to come around to the back, basic snap box, but one thing, or basic tip on the back. One thing I do love about this belt, it's just got this beautiful croc skin backing, and I'm a sucker for croc skin backing.
You can't go wrong with that.
This is the second one that we have behind the big eagle. You can see where, and I'm big into reptiles, you can see where the scutes are, you can see where the osteoderms are. I really love the back of this belt. This is probably, and it's really soft. Now I'm not going to say this leather is the softest. It can be a little stiff. Let's go ahead and show them the money. I didn't hit you. You can see, I mean, it's pretty floppy, and it does fold up relatively nice. You can put it back up here, and I can do this, and it'll basically stay up on its own. So that's a win in my book. It's not like a fan do. The strap is a little soft, but it's stiff enough to where it holds the belt up. So I'm so glad I got this in the collection. I don't know about you. What do you think about it?
I like it.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of, I think, 3 or 4 belts that we've got, and 3 or 4 belts that we're going to show off. We've been very fortunate in that we've been able to get this. We've been very fortunate that we've been able to spoil our little girl, and you know, she's the heir apparent to the kingdom. So we got to make sure if we get good stuff, it's got to be the cream of the crop. Yeah. So it's kind of become my little thing. So we're just going to keep doing that. But we got to make sure we have good quality belts for her if she's going to grow up. And even if she grows up and hates wrestling, she's got some really cool conversation pieces. So, yeah, or she's got some, you know, she didn't have to pay for them, so anything she makes is profit, pretty much, right? Which means I'm keeping this door locked until she turns 52 and I'm dead. Pretty much.
You're going to be buried with him.
I'm not going to be married. I'm not going to be married with him. Yeah, I'm going to be married with him. I'm definitely going to marry him. But no, it's definitely something that we want to pass down, that we love. I'm glad I got this Hogan 86. I can't wait till baby Bellerfin grows up a little bit older and I can show her some matches, although there's not many, with this belt and with some of the other ones. So I think we've rambled enough. I think the next couple of weeks you're going to see us shaking more rust off, because trust me, I was up here, the hamster was spinning, there was no wheel. Or the wheel was spinning, there was no hamster. It's one or the other. I can't figure it out, but it's just... So you got anything else you want to say before we sign off and we start on the next one?
Sign off already.
Sign off. With that being said, guys, like, comment, subscribe, if that's still the way it goes. I don't know how YouTube goes now anymore. It's been a while. But do one of the 3 of those, or all 3. Please don't do none.
All of them.
Yeah, please don't do none of them. I mean, that's just kind of mean. Don't do that. So like, comment, subscribe. We will catch you guys down the road.